You just lost badly, and yet you immediately want to play again. Not because you're competitive, not because you want revenge, but because something about that lose felt almost like a win. That feeling has a name. Today I wanted to start a new series for game design, to be specific, game psychology. Over the next few weeks, we're diving into something even deeper into game psychology, the psychological mechanics that a lot of best game designers use deliberately to keep players engaged, coming back and caring about what is happening at the table. And today we're starting with the first one that I really enjoy, which is called near-miss effect. What it is, why it is, how it works, and why certain losses feel like a win rather than random win, and how great game designers use it on purpose. Let's get started. There are kind of lose that you feel like you've never had a chance, and the outcome felt random and disconnected from your decisions. So after that, you put away and move on. But there are different kind of lose where you finish and immediately start replaying the game in your head. If I taken this card earlier, if I played this card earlier, and then my engine would build up in round 1 faster. If I've seen that coming. The second kind of lose, those are the one great games are designed to produce. The difference isn't the score, it is how close you feel to a different outcome. So what is near-miss effect? Near-miss effect originally come from psychological researches, and originally it studied in gambling. It showed up everywhere humans compete to pursue goals. The idea is simple. When we almost achieve something, our brain responds almost identically to actually achieving it. The almost activates the same reward system as the win. It creates approach motivation, the drive to try it again, instead of avoidance. Losing by 20 points, you switch off. You felt you're done. Losing by 2 points, you're thinking you're almost there. You could have done it for the next game. The gap between the score you almost had and the score you got, it is where designers live. So what does it look like for game design? The near-miss effect only works, in my opinion, if 3 things are true. First, the player can visibly see exactly what they almost achieved. The gap has to be visible. If you don't know how close you were, then there's nothing to feel near-missed about. Second, the lose has to feel connected to decisions, not just luck. If you lost because of a random card draw, there's nothing to learn from it. There's no retry. But if you lost because of the choice that you made, then that is information, and information makes player wants to go back. The third one, it is the game has to make it easy for you to imagine the alternatives. What would happen if I would have done X? The better a game answer to that question, the stronger the near-miss feeling is. When we designing Fintastic Sea, this was something we thought about a lot in the scoring system. That's why all of your ecosystem has laid out visible. You can see someone else's ecosystem, you can see your own. At the end of the game, you can always see exactly what you almost built, which ecosystem card you were 1 step away from competing, which scoring chain you were just short of triggering. The loss is legible, and legible losses are the ones that pull you back to the table. Here's the thing that took us a while to understand, either as designers or just normal players. A well-designed loss or lose, it is more valuable than random win. A random win gives you a good feeling maybe for 10 minutes. However, a well-designed lose gives you reason to come back for another 3 sessions. That is why the best game designers, they don't just think how to make you win feel great. They also have to consider, how do I make player, even if they lose, they still feel meaningful. The question isn't how to make sure players win. The question is, when players lose, what do they walk away with? Next time when you play a game, you immediately want to play again. Pay attention to that feeling. What did you almost achieve? What did you almost build? Which decision made 1 round earlier would have changed everything? If you can answer all those questions clearly, that means someone designed that experience intentionally. Either if you're a game designer or just someone normal player that interested in psychology, follow our channel because this is kind of content we're constantly talking about it. We also have a playlist for game design theories. We're still gonna fill more content into both playlists, so follow along, and I'll see you next week. Bye.